welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me. Today I am going to show you how you can deploy your very first code on Azure using Terraform. Before I start, I am going to show you what I am going to cover in this video. I am going to show you how you can install Terraform on your Mac operating system. I'm going to show you how you can install Visual Studio Code on your Mac machine. And I'm also going to show you how you can install Azure CLI on your Mac operating system. Then once we are done with installation of all these three components which are required for us to deploy code in Azure using Terraform configurations. Then we are going to connect Terraform to Azure using Azure CLI authentication. Then we are going to deploy very first code on Azure using Terraform. We have a point to note here. I'm going to run all these tools on Mac operating system because I have a Mac machine, but process is very easy and simple if you have Windows system or Linux operating system machine. Before I move further next to show you how you can install Terraform on Mac operating system, I'm going to slightly touch something about Terraform authentication methods to Azure. Terraform has multiple ways to authenticate to Azure. There are few like you have Azure CLI, which is very simple and easy authentication method, which we are going to use today in our scenario. And then we have managed service identity. Then we have service principal and client certificate. Then we have service principal and client secret. I'm going to cover all other authentication methods which are complex and require to set up some different resources in Azure to use those authentication methods. So in this video, we are going to use Azure CLI. Let's move on. Now, you need to install first Terraform on the Mac operating system. If you go on to developer.hashicorp.com, which is the HashiCorp website, there you have option to install the Terraform on different operating systems. As we are going to install it on Mac operating system, so we choose Homebrew on OS X, which is the Mac operating system. This is the automatic way to install the Terraform on Mac operating system, but you also have manual installation package which you can do, but I always prefer and recommend to do automatic because that way you keep things very simple and run simple command and then your Terraform is installed. So first you need to install HashiCorp tab on your Mac, then you install Terraform, and then you can update your Homebrew, and then you can upgrade your Terraform if you are not using the latest version. So these are very four basic commands to install Terraform on your Mac operating system. Install these commands. I have already installed Terraform on my machine, so I'm not going to install it, but I'm going to show you to run few commands and how those looks like. So I open my terminal and then paste that and then show you how you just need to run the command. Paste it and then it's installed, right? Now, next one is how you validate your Terraform. So you just need to, once you install, you run this command to see whether Terraform is giving you option to use different uh, syntax in your Terraform command and whether Terraform installed or not, right? So you can just see the version of the Terraform and we can see it is installed on our machine. Now let's install Visual Studio Code on machine, and to install the Visual Studio Code we go to visualstudio.microsoft.com. Then there we have Visual Studio Code, we have option free download, and there we click on Mac OS Universal Package. You download that package and you open that package, and when you open that package it's going to run the Visual Studio. It's very simple. Like you when you do it on Windows, you have to run the .exe file, which will run the setup of the Visual Studio Code. But in Mac machine, you just download the package, open it. It's going to launch the application. Very simple. Machine, you just click on it and click open. It's going to open the Visual Studio Code. Before we do any further step into Visual Studio Code, we need to do uh, we need to make sure we have installed all the extensions for HashiCorp. Just type hash, it will show all the extensions which are for HashiCorp, and make sure you install them. It's best practice to do, and it's going to help you to uh, find the errors while you deploy any code in your syntax, all those things. So they're very helpful, and also very best practice to do so. So make sure you install all extensions which are for HashiCorp and Terraform. In my case, I have already done them, and if something is still not there, like you have for AWS, which we are not doing currently for AWS, so Azure, but you install, you can do that also. Yeah, so make sure you install all the extension for Terraform and HashiCorp. Now we need to open the Explorer after installing the all the extension, and then click on Explorer. Yeah, like click on open folder. So in my case, I have created one folder, Terraform, and under that Terraform directory, I have created two more folder, one for Azure and one for AWS. So as we are going to deploy a code on Azure, let's select the Azure folder. So our all Azure files are in Azure folder. And now just create a one file saying my first file, first code.tf. Yep. And then before we write some code, we have to connect our machine, like we have to authenticate to Azure subscriptions using Azure CLI. So we have to run the command Azure login, and then it's going to ask the credentials, and then you select your credential, and then you're logged in. So we are authenticated to Azure now using Azure CLI. Then we are going to just type the script. So I have already created one script which you can also go through the uh, registry.terraform.io, which has all syntax commands for different providers. So it's very helpful website when you are deploying your first code or any complex code, to use different syntaxes, different providers. Just follow that, and then you can start creating more complex code. But this is our first code. Let's stick to very simple one. So have created one in my notepad, and then I'm going to use this uh, in our today's lab. So this one you can see, and then I save it, and then I'm going to open a terminal and say uh, Terraform init. That's very first command uh, to initialize the Terraform configuration and libraries, and then that's going to Terraform validation. Yep, let's run the command Terraform validate, and it's showing the configuration is valid. And then next you can run Terraform plan. So it's like we are now planning, and then we will apply the configuration once our planning is done. So I'm going to show you my current Azure subscription where we don't have any resource group. It's just nothing over there. And then as part of this, as we don't have any resource group, I'm going to show you once we run this plan in the Visual Studio Code, it's going to uh, create the resource group in my Azure subscription. Then you see Azure planning is done. Now let's apply it. So we are going to this, yeah, you can see location West Europe, name my test Terraform. That's the resource group we are going to create. So then we say yes. It takes few, yeah, it's very easy, yeah, like it's created in within 1 minute. And then you can see if you are able to see it here. I think sometimes it takes time, so you can go here, subscriptions. It's a free trial I'm using, and you go to the resource group, and you can see it my test Terraform, and then it's created in West Europe. So you can see our very first Terraform code is successfully deployed, and that's how you can deploy complex codes, complex infrastructure using Terraform. And I'm going to show you how you can use it deploying more complex resources and infrastructure, all those things, in next videos. Thank you for your time. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.